ladies and gentlemen.
Giggity. All right.
Seems quiet. Too quiet.
I'm Batman. Gotham is never safe without me. What time is it? It's 7 o'clock. Okay, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You can attach towers? Shut up. Impromptu performance this evening, which I must say was indeed a welcome distraction. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. You're very kind. This is going to be funny. It is going to be fun. What's also fun is music. Not that loud, though. Sheesh. All right, let's center. There we go. Welcome, everybody. I can't believe we're back reading books. It's a great day. I have been so just thrown off because I haven't been able to read. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. It has been fantastic doing the truck sim. ATS is a fantastic game. I can't wait to play more. But reading is what I do. Okay? Voice work is my thing. So that's going to be the schedule, by the way. Sundays and Tuesdays, we read. On Thursdays, we ride. And then Thursday nights, we read in Discord. So, super. Mark it on your calendar. Every Thursday, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern, starting on this week, we're going to start reading Onyx Storm. Okay. Onyx Storm, Thursday nights. Be there. In Discord. Oh, actually, I need to update the command for that, because it was Iron before, because we were reading Iron Flame. But we're not reading that anymore. So I need to update it to ON. Helps if I actually type an O. ONYX. Onyx. It says saved, but I still see the word iron. Did you actually save? Did you? Where is it? There it is. All right, we're good. Journey. Bookworm. What's the link or command for your Discord? So, caveat to that, it's not my Discord. We're using a friend's Discord in the event chat for this reading. And so it's her Discord, but that's where we get to go to enjoy said reading. Because she'll be there as well, and her husband, usually. So it's a good time. It's a good time. So yes, this Thursday, starting Onyx Storm. I'm very much looking forward to it. As far as the command goes, if you type !Onyx and then hit enter, that will give you the link to the Discord, which you are welcome to stay in or leave. It doesn't matter. But there's a... inside the Discord, there is a... It's called Chitter Channels. Love that name. And in there is an event chat group, and that's where we'll be Thursday evenings at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, whichever one you prefer to think of. going to be a good time. All right. Onyx Storm's over there. Let's move this a touch so I have a little bit more room for the keyboard. Okay. All right. Good. Now, where did I put that puzzle? Because, of course, it's puzzle. Got a pretty cool one for you. It's like a house, country house with, you know, cloudy sky, moons, trees, you know, the usual. It's the kind of setting where the moon is more visible, nighttime. Yep. It's so true. All right, so I'm going to move that over there because I need to keep an eye on this. Okay. Let's see. What else? Oh, my new wheel and pedals arrived like an hour or two ago. So that's cool. It's in a box behind me, waiting to be unboxed. The drum set is installed. In fact, I'll show you a quick... See if I can get that to show up without too much glare. Can I hold it this way? Yes, I can. So... the glare. You get the idea, though. There's a drum set in there. Jesse, hello. Great to see you. How are you? Thank you for coming. There you go. I was like, super, do you need some help, buddy? Do you want me to type it for you? Good to see you. I'm well. Thanks for streaming. Absolutely. I haven't been able to read books for a few weeks now, and it's completely just sucked. But the doc said I could slowly get back into it, which you understand what that means. There's nothing slow about it. We're just going to dive right in. I've got my tea, my hot tea, so that's good. Oh, the last thing I wanted to share. This is new news. Like, I just found out today. So I don't know if any of you ladies are familiar with the Magic Wave app. Okay, I'm just not going to even bother with the glare anymore. But I'm a voice on a Rolodex, if you will, for that company. And I auditioned for a part in an upcoming audio drama. And today I found out I got it. So I'm super pumped. I only joined a little while ago, so this is one of their first projects that's new, and I got picked, which is just overwhelmingly amazing. So yeah, Magic Wave, they have free stuff, they have paid stuff, but it's all geared towards the ladies of a wide variety of story types. A lot of it's sultry, but not all of it. So, you know, pick your poison. But yeah, once this, you know, audio drama, which is called Contract Lover, once that's been recorded, it'll be on there. So that's exciting. So thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Mel, it is wonderful to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, the book we are reading, the one and only Mel is the author. So very happy to get back to her book. We were really getting into it, and then I had to stop talking. / reading. And it just, you know, but we're back and we're excited. So yeah. Let's see. Slow depends on how fast your eyes move and your brain comprehends. Wait, what? I don't remember what that was in relation to. Slow depends on how fast your eyes move and your brain comprehends. What was that for? You said your doc said you could get... okay. Yep, thank you. Yeah. Very valid point. Extremely valid. Let's see how good the cup of tea is. Just delicious. There you go, Onyx. Yeah, so Thursday night, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, we'll be in the event chat of that Discord, reading Onyx Storm. Now, the interesting thing is, there'll be people in there that have already read Onyx Storm because they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait for slowpoke like me. So I'll be reading it to them still because they haven't heard it as an audiobook. But they already know what's happened. Which is fine. No big deal. But if you haven't and you're okay with just slowly waiting, you're welcome to join us. If you can't join us and you still want to hear it, I do upload each chapter to my YouTube. I did that with Iron Flame, all but the last 5 or 6 chapters, just because I wasn't able to read it out loud. So I just read it to myself. And holy cow, the ending to that one. Jeepers. That was one heck of an ending to that book. Let me tell you. But for now, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Mel's book. In the Shadow of the Black Moon. If you type !moon, you will get a different link that goes directly to our author's page with this book. Thank you, Super. Thank you for the lurk, Fubar, as well. Saying goodbye for hello. Still working. Ooh, so need to be lurking. Have a great stream. Enjoy working as best as you can. Do it for the paycheck. So yes, we're on chapter 16. Now, I gotta kind of remember what we left off on so it can make a bit more sense to me. I should have done this earlier, but I'd taken my child to an appointment. Right, okay. Yep, all right. The 5 Ps. I feel like you've mentioned this before. 5 Ps. Practice, 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 practice. Oh, proper planning prevents poor performance. Womp. Being called out by Super. The Stunt Mama's mama has arrived. I didn't think you'd be here this soon. Hello. Did you skip your meeting? You said you wouldn't be here. Or at least not till later. Oh, 6 your time. Yeah, when I said it's 6 o'clock, you were thinking Eastern. Haha. Well, that worked out. Awesome. Well, welcome. Welcome back in, Stunt Mama's Mama. It's wonderful to see you. All right, I'm not going to delay any longer. We've been delayed for a few weeks. We've not liked it, so we're just going to get back into it. We're starting on chapter 16, page 104 in our printed version. Let's go. Bree jerked and sat bolt upright as the night came rushing back to her. She looked around, panic as the feeble light seeped in. It's morning. I made it. She searched for her cell phone under the covers. Her cell phone. No, her cell phone, not her cell. I'm fine. Finding it, she rubbed her eyes and checked the time. It was after 7. What was that knocking? The crew? Sam? Riker? Bree flung off the covers. The hammer dropped to the floor with a thud as she ran to her bedroom door. The chair was still wedged under the handle. She yanked it free and flew down the stairs as the knock came again. She fumbled with the lock, yanked the door open, and came face to face with Sam and Riker. Good morning, Sam said, his usual sunny self. Hey, champ, you don't look so good, Riker said, giving Bree the once-over. Relieved to see them, she couldn't respond right away. Did you sleep in your clothes? Bree pushed at her hair and straightened her shirt. I had a rough night. Looks like it. She really didn't care how bad she looked. She was just relieved they were here. Come in, she said with an edge to her voice, then swallowed hard to calm her nerves. Please, come in. Do you want coffee? They followed her to the kitchen. I would love a cup, Sam answered. Yeah, me too, added Riker. Bree went through the motions of getting out the coffee, filling the pot with water, and adding the grounds. Somehow, the everyday task was calming her nerves, making last night seem just like a bad dream. Relaxing as the pot started to fill, Bree turned around to find Riker and Sam staring at her with concern. What? Do I really look that bad? No, of course not, Sam was quick to answer. You look like hell. Sam glared at Riker. Well, she does, just telling the truth. It's okay, Sam. He's not hurting my feelings much. I'm sure I look bad. You don't look bad, Sam said, trying to be more tactful than Riker. You look like you didn't sleep well, that's all. I didn't. Bree turned around to get down styrofoam cups from the cabinet. Her hand trembled, causing her to drop the stack, scattering them. Do you need a hand? Riker asked, moving to assist. I got it. She scooped them up, cutting them off. Did the wind keep you up? Sam asked, concerned. Or the ghost? Riker asked with a mischievous grin. Bree turned around and pinned him in place with her eyes. Stop that, would you? He held up his hands in defense. I'm only joking. Well, it's not funny. She poured 2 cups of coffee and threw one at Riker. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. She poured 2 cups of coffee and put the pot back. She set one in front of Sam. The other was for herself. To hell with Riker. She got out creamer from the fridge and a couple of spoons from the center drawer in the island. Thanks, Sam said, grateful for the cup. Where's mine? Bree ignored him. There's milk in the fridge if you would rather have that than creamer. Sugar's on the counter. Then she looked directly at Riker while she stirred. You can get your own. I'm going to take a shower. Need help with that? He asked, lifting an eyebrow. You've seen what I can do with a paintbrush. Just imagine what I can do with a bar of soap. Bree's face turned beet red. In your dreams, Riker. Yours too, by the looks on your face. You're unbelievable, Bree said, walking away. Stunt mama. Hello, ma'am. How are you? Did you enjoy playing Fortnite earlier?
Somebody come get her. She's dancing like a stripper.
Doing good, just wrapped up dinner and I did enjoy it. Well, that's good. Lidaho. Lidaho? Lidaho? Either way, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Pretty sure that's an insult to strippers because I'm pretty sure they can dance better than I can. You know what? That's actually a legit, completely legit. Or as the children would say, no cap. I cannot keep a straight face. All right. As we were reading, Sam stared at Riker as Bree stomped up the stairs and slammed a door somewhere overhead. Are you trying to piss her off so we get fired? Riker laughed. No, she's just way too fun to tease. She looks damn cute when she's mad. Plus, he didn't like seeing her upset. It was better to have her flustered and mad than upset. He went to the coffee pot and poured himself a cup. Something must have kept her up all night. How do you know? Sam asked, taking a sip. Well, look around. Every damn light in the house is on. Yeah, like he doesn't know. Ever try to dance like a stripper? So hard. No comment. All right, there's a little break in the story, which means I get to take a sip of my tea. It's so delicious. Yeah, super. Do you have something you want to tell us? Did you get a new job? How was the interview? What kind of process did you have to go through? Did you have to share any of your routines, perhaps? Are there any, recorded proof? Just, I'm asking for science. That's all. Anyway, an hour later, with hammering all around her, she was dressed casually in jeans and a soft butter yellow top. She pulled her long hair into a ponytail. After the coffee, shower, and change of clothes, she felt human again. Last night was almost a distant memory. Bree loaded the pictures wrapped in brown paper into her SUV. Then she jumped in and drove the short distance to Coastal Realty. Parked, she grabbed her packages and went in. Sherry was sitting at the desk when she walked in, looking pretty in her pale blue cotton dress. Bree! Sherry beamed. You look like pure sunshine. What brings you in? Oh, hello, Sherry. I wanted to drop this off for Linda. Bree lifted one of the packages and laid it delicately on the counter. Just a little something for the office after all you've done for me. Oh, let me get her. I can't wait to see what it is. She punched Linda's number on her phone. Can you come out here a minute? Bree Thompson is here. Sherry put the phone back down. She'll be right out. How's the house? I want to come by and see the progress. Sam and Riker have been filling us in. I love it. And the spot. You should come over and see it now and come back after the kitchen goes in. I think I will. Maybe I could stop by after work sometime. Absolutely. Send me a text. I'd love to show you. Wonderful. Sherry smiled. Here she is. Sherry indicated as Linda came down the hall with a duck and Alan. I guess I should stop lurking myself. Very good. How are you? Thank you so much for the raid. Beware, Bill the Duck is arriving to your location. There's nothing you can do. He may have homies. I appreciate that so much. Alan is also a reader of the written text, also known as books. There he is.
We are streamers. We are performers.
Performers. That was good. Thank you so much for coming in, sir. We're finally getting back to reading ourselves, so it's great. I appreciate you. If you need to go, like, eat some dinner maybe, or stretch your legs, all that good stuff, by all means, please do. I'll keep reading our story here. You're welcome to stay as long as you like. Linda stretched out her hand and greeted Bree warmly. Hello, Bree. What can I do for you? I wanted to drop off a little token of my appreciation because you accelerated closing on the house.
I'm lurking now.
Thank you for the lurk. Eat dinner. It was nothing, just doing our job. You didn't have to do this, my dear. Linda glanced at the package. But since you did, Sherry, pass me the scissors, please. Sherry handed them to Linda. She cut the paper, unfolded it, and gasped. This is gorgeous. Where did you find this? Do you like it? Like it? I absolutely love it. Linda held the framed photo of the sailboat, admiring it. It was framed in the same driftwood as the reception desk. It had a double-layered mat. The first mat was navy to pull in the office colors. The second was an indigo blue that matched the water. I'm glad you like it. It's one of mine. I thought it would go nicely with the office decor. Oh, it really does, Sherry said. It's beautiful, Bree. I know just where it can go, Linda said, lifting it. Right here above the desk. It'll be the first thing everyone sees when they walk in. That's where I imagined it too, Bree said, thrilled. Sam is stopping by later. I'll have him hang it when he comes. Linda handed the picture to Sherry. Set that over there, please. Linda turned to Bree and gave her a hug. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Bree said, meaning it. The front door opened and Greg walked in. Bree, he said, sounding surprised. What are you doing here? I'm dropping off gifts. Really? Look what she brought. Sherry pulled him around the counter and pointed. He let out a little whistle. Wow. I have something for you too. She handed it to him. You mentioned how beautiful the sunrises are here, so I thought, well, just open it. Sherry handed him the scissors and he cut the paper off. Peeling it back, he exposed the photo. It was the horizon, stretched out in glorious color at the peak of daybreak. This is spectacular, Bree. It's absolutely stunning. You have your own business, right? Linda asked, admiring the photo. Yes, Images by Bree. Anyone that takes one look at either of these is going to want to know where to get them. I have to promote talent, and you certainly are talented. Really? Yes. Do you have any business cards with you? I have a few. Bree dug through her purse and produced a few. Linda took them. This will do to start. Next time you're in the area, drop off some more. Linda turned to Greg. Sam can put yours up in your office if you want. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Linda. Bree smiled at them. All right, I have some errands to do, so I'll let you get back to work. Sherry, let me know when you want to stop by. I will. I'll walk you out, Greg said. He held the door for her and walked with Bree to her SUV. Would you like to go to dinner or a movie sometime? Bree hesitated, unsure. She debated for a minute, then saw no harm in the invitation. Sure. A movie sounds like fun. Are you an action-adventure or a comedy kind of guy? Stunt, can you contribute to the puzzle already? My hand is starting to cramp. Wow. I like both. Me too. He beamed at her. I'll check the shows and give you a call. Sounds good. She hesitated. Greg? Have you had a chance to ask anyone about the possibility of my house being haunted? He cocked his head and looked at her with concern in his soft brown eyes. Honestly, I forgot to ask. Is everything okay? Just curious. Riker brought it up again. Did something happen? No. She brushed off his question. Forget I mentioned it. She climbed in her SUV, backed out, and gave him a little wave. Just like that. That's why, yeah. Just two kids fighting over a puzzle. Another break in the story. I love the little seashells. It's clever. I probably would have done like a weird wiggly line or something. And that would have made me miss out on a really good opportunity. Riker found Bree out back in his favorite spot. That alone almost made him turn around and go back in. But he didn't. It was hers now. There was nothing he could do about it. He might as well face it. He won't. As he approached, he couldn't help but think how cute she looked in her big floppy hat and oversized dark sunglasses. She wore jeans and a yellow top that hung slightly off, revealing a bare shoulder. She was sitting cross-legged on a blanket with her laptop working. Can I join you? Oh, no worries. Bree shrugged. Suit yourself? She scooted over and gave him half the blanket. What are you doing? Annoyed, she looked at him. Working. Shouldn't you be? Me? No, I'm taking a break. Needed some sunshine and good company. He paused for effect. Purple! Hi, Purple. The guys were all busy, so here I am. He flashed a grin. Bree slid her sunglasses down and glared at him. Two could play this game. I'm flattered that I'm your second choice. You wouldn't even be on my list. She is ruthless. Wow. Professor! Thank you for redeeming your daily book bunk. Ouch. He clutched at his heart. That hurts. Whatever. She slid her glasses back into place. Do you mind? I am trying to work. Not at all. You go right ahead. I'm just gonna sit here quiet and eat. He unzipped his small cooler and pulled out a bottle of water, took a long pull, and set it down. He inched a little closer to Bree and peered over her shoulder. On her laptop was a picture of the beach at sunrise. It was beautiful. The picture was taken at the split second the sun broke the horizon. Stars still hung in a black velvet sky. The moon shone brightly, and the sun was a mere suggestion on the immense horizon. Welcome back. Just in time to hear some reading? Yes, we're finally back to it. Suggestion on the immense horizon. Did you take that? Yes. She pulled her sunglasses off this time and rubbed between her eyes. The late night and lack of food had caused her a headache, and now her stomach growled. That's one of the most intense daybreaks I've ever seen. Bree looked at Riker and waited for the dig. But what? Riker took a bite of his turkey club. He dug out a small bag of chips, popped it open, and snagged one. No buts. Really? Bree asked with surprise. You usually try to get a jab in there somehow. Not this time. He pointed at the screen. I've never seen anything that good before. I'm impressed. Didn't know you had that kind of talent. And there it is. I thought you said you were going to sit here quietly. Riker laughed. You should know better than that. He took half his sandwich and offered it to Bree. One half? She eyed him suspiciously. Peace offering? He shrugged. Kind of. Bree set her computer aside and took the sandwich from him. Thank you for the sandwich and the compliment. I'll ignore the dig. No butts, no cuts, no coconuts. You're welcome for both. So, when are you gonna get those Adirondack chairs? This sitting on the ground is for the birds. It's hard on the back, and my ass. This time, Bree shrugged. It's not in my budget just yet. Riker nodded, completely understanding, eating a few more chips. Switching gears, he said, Sam mentioned he wanted to have you update our website, take some professional photos of us and our work. Is that something you'd be interested in doing? I would. Can you check out our website, see what it needs, and write a proposal? She nodded. I can put something together for you. Make it so, number one. We can give you a list of projects we've already done. That's good. I would also like to get before and after pictures of job sites you're currently working on. Colette mentioned you guys could use a new logo too. I could design one. I could give you a couple of choices. I could probably have it for you by Friday. Would that be soon enough? Riker nodded. Sounds like a plan. I better get back inside. We can't all lay around in the sun all day and pretend to work. You can't be nice for more than 5 minutes, can you? He leaned in close. So close, Riker could feel her breath on his lips and see the flecks of gray in her blue eyes. She sucked in a breath. He grinned. What fun would that be? He held himself there for a few seconds, only hints of salt air between them. He imagined himself kissing her. Would she lean into it? Or would she backhand him? He thought the latter, so he forced himself to back up and saw the flush on her face. Maybe he should have. Damn, if she wasn't cute when she was flustered. He was tempted, very tempted, which was all the better reason to leave. He stood up quickly. See you later, champ. And that is the end of chapter 16. Yes. I think it's only right that the two people that, at least for the moment, hate each other that much end up potentially falling for each other. Opposites attract, you know. Or at least, that's what they say. That tea is hitting all the right spots. Let's see. We don't have like 19 minutes yet until ads start, but because I've remembered, and we are at the beginning of a new chapter, I'm just going to go ahead and push the button now to make them run. And then we'll get back to the chapter once they're done. So, bear with us. You will miss nothing. For the rest of you, twiddle your thumbs. I see no ads. That's good. I'm sure it's just Twitch being weird again. Is it me or did my camera shift? Very strange. There. When you said that's good, I spat out all my water. Excellent. Hopefully you're in front of your keyboard. It's weird what a few weeks will do to you when you're used to reading all the time. I was not, but my Stream Deck took the full load, as it were. Wow. No, I'm not going to say it. Something popped into my head and I was like, nope. If I say that, he'll spit out more water. You guys slow down on the puzzle, please? Jeepers. You'll myself out? Cool. All right. Our ads are done. So if you had any, welcome back. If you didn't, glad you're here. Intrusive thoughts. Yes, they sometimes win. Chapter 17, page 112. Nope. Bree heard the knock on the door and almost skipped down the stairs. She'd slept soundly and woke up to seagulls calling. The sun was shining, and there was the promise of another day with temperatures in the upper 60s. Hey guys, Bree said cheerfully as she opened the door to Sam and Riker. I was just going to make coffee. Do you want some? Definitely, Sam answered. Am I going to get a cup this time? Riker asked, eyeing her. If you're nice to me. Bree smiled sweetly at him. You must have gotten a good night's sleep last night. I did, Bree said, going to the cabinet to get the coffee started. She opened the cabinet, but it was empty. Without hesitating, she went to the next cabinet. Nope. She went to the next cabinet. And there it was. Huh, she thought. Must have put it back in the wrong spot. Or did she? Thinking what I'm thinking. She sleepwalked, put it in the other cabinet, and then went back upstairs. She filled the pot with water and returned the container where it belonged. She got out the cups as the smell of coffee permeated the air. What's on the agenda today? She asked, knowing Sam would give her the rundown. Well, the guys finished working on the porch yesterday. The weather is supposed to be ideal, so they'll start painting. Bree nodded as she went to the pantry. She bought chocolate chip muffins yesterday at the store and decided to share them. Wow. I'm not sure I could do that. Depends how good they were, though. Hands on her hips, she scanned the pantry. She was sure she had put them beside the sugar canister on the shelf, but they weren't there. What else? She asked, trying not to overthink it, finding the muffins tucked behind a cereal box. Riker and I will be up on the roof most of the day. We want to fix the Widow's Walk and patch the hole in the far corner of the roof. Bree nodded, set the muffins down, and retrieved paper plates and napkins. Please help yourself to the... Please help yourself to muffins. She went to the island center to get out silverware, but found the drawer empty. What the hell? Bree stood still for a moment, then pulled out the middle drawer. And as she pulled it out, applause erupted. Wow, you guys just dominated that puzzle. Just literally took you like 35 minutes, maybe. Would you like another? Sorry? It's okay. You don't have to apologize. It's totally fine. Please? Okay. Let me, Oh, wait. No, I wanted that window. I just closed the thing I needed. Not a very good idea. Okay, I need to try and not lose my place. So we're just going to put that in there and then do that. Okay. let me find a new one. And while we're looking for the next one, what do we think is going on in her kitchen? Everything has shifted, according to her. Ooh, this will be a fun one for you. Make it a touch harder. Just a touch. Okay. I've got the link. Just need to update said link in Stream Elements so that it works for you guys. Hey, you guys. I can't tell if Bree is like on some sort of medication that's making her go crazy, or if someone snuck in and messed with her kitchen just to mess with her. All right, a new puzzle link should be ready for you, and this is what you're puzzling. This is my first read-through. Me too. Ghost is moving things around. Yes, very possible. This book is about, well, Jesse. If you do !moon, that will give you a link to the author page and this book. And there you'll be able to read the back of it, so you can kind of get more of a gist of what the story's about. But I'm thinking it's either the ghost or this individual that's trying to come for her because she messed up his life. But we'll see. But yes, that's the new puzzle. It's a beautiful picture. The moon slightly exaggerated, but that's okay. Works wonders for what we need it for. Right. It is very pretty. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Yeah. She pulled out the bottom drawer and found the silverware. A shiver ran through her. What's the matter? Riker asked. Nothing. It's something. It's just the silverware isn't where I put it. What do you mean? Sam asked, coming around the counter. I put all the silverware in the top drawer. I'd swear that's where it was when I went to bed last night. So you changed your mind and moved it. No big deal. But I wouldn't. It makes no sense to put it in the bottom drawer and leave the top two empty. And I'm pretty sure I would remember doing it. Were you able to make that phone call, Purple? Yes, Purple. Were you able to make a phone call? I have no idea what it's about, but good job if you did. She bent down, scooped up the small drawer insert filled with silverware, and moved it to the top drawer. A piece of torn photo fluttered to the floor. But it's not just the silverware. The coffee wasn't in the right cabinet, and the muffins were moved. Everything is out of place this morning. Bree bent to pick up the scrap of paper and examined it. Where had she seen this before? You were probably just distracted and did it without thinking. I wouldn't worry about it. Perplexed, Bree shrugged. I guess, but how do you explain this? Bree waved the corner of the picture. I can't, Sam shrugged. Me either. Bree tossed the paper into the trash can. Her cell phone rang. You did call the doc? Uh-oh, my doc moved out of my network. Ah, man, I hate it when that happens. Nurse was going to see if they can just get me a new doc, or I'll have to do it and take all over. I hope not. Jeez, Purple. That stinks. I'm sorry. What a mess. I mean, I realize sometimes doctors, have to move on or change or whatever. But yeah, it's such a pain for everybody involved. Book bonk for respects. Exactly. That's why But I'll get there. I need the surgery one way or another. And we stand behind you, Purple. Not physically. That would be awkward. Just, in spirit. Anyway, moving on. She looked at the caller ID and frowned. Help yourself to the muffins and coffee. I'm gonna take this call. Try give TV. Is that right? Am I saying that right? And hey-o to you too. Stunt will literally stand right behind you. Everybody knows Trike. Woo! T-R-Y-G-T-R-Y-G-T-V. Awkwardness intended. Insert manacle laughter. Anyway. It seems like... How do I not know? Well, how should I know, Stunt? I feel perplexed. It is great to see you. He's only half tried since he got rid of his master mustache. He just wanted to yell at you? Oh, okay. Cool. Guess whose semi I'm aiming for next time? Your power was too strong with this dash. Well, welcome in. It's good to see you. I'm reading a book, or at least I'm trying to. As we continue. They heard her say hello as she slipped out the slider onto the patio. Sam poured coffee into 2 cups, set one before Riker, and sipped the hot liquid. Riker eyed his cup and looked at Sam as he scrolled down his to-do list on his phone. That's kind of odd, isn't it? The coffee and muffins are one thing, but the silverware... She doesn't remember moving it? Stunt Mama wants me to read the book Pissed Off and force a hydrate.
Can we eat them? I want to bite off his head.
No, we cannot eat them. Sam shrugged, clearly distracted by his agenda for the day. I don't have an answer to that. Unless she just did it without thinking. Come on. We need to get started. He topped off his coffee and snagged a freaking muffin. Riker watched Bree on her phone and wondered what made her move halfway across the country and buy this house. His house. Was something going on? He took a sip of coffee and observed her for a few minutes. She slowly walked down towards the water, still talking. Riker hesitated a moment, then turned and followed Sam out the door. Ugh. And then there's a break in the story. Anyone that might listen to this later is going to be like, What the hell? What is happening? Mama House Gaming. Hi. Type of stream is new to me. Very cozy, Father. Thank you very much. People can redeem a few different things that make me read in a different way, as you just observed. And sometimes that makes Stunt Mama moan. Which is pretty weird. It's pretty weird since I've been to your house. Anyway, back to the story. That was awkward enough. Stepmom probably cackling right now. Oh, okay. Now we're going to read as Batman. Hold on. This is the most chill stream ever. I love it here. Although I've been lurking a lot lately, and I'm sorry for that. I'm trying to be more active in everyone's streams. Purple, you can lurk as long as you want. It's okay. He reads, I do the puzzle. Stunt tries to do the puzzle, but is super slow. Wow.
The nerve.
By the way, my Batman is kind of like the copy Batman that does like the TikTok videos. He's like, ugh. So just so you know.
The crew was knocking off for the day. The front porch was freshly painted and sparkled in the late afternoon sun in Gotham. Not Gotham. Sam and Riker had spent most of the day on the roof as planned. Yeah. They had patched a hole and reinforced the Widow's Walk, preparing it to be primed. Unvenbich. Lie to me. Riker checked his phone for the weather forecast. It was going to be sunny. And 70. If he could get the primer on the Widow's Walk, not window, first thing in the morning, he would still have plenty of time to take the boat out. And then the guys could paint on Monday. He checked with Bree and Alfred, just Bree, and make sure it was all right to come in the morning.
I don't know who that guy was. God, what a loser.
I'm Batman.
And Batman makes purple moan. So there you go. He checked with Bree and make sure it was all right to come in the morning. Sam loaded the truck and called out to Riker. Want to grab dinner and a beer later? Definitely. I have to make a few stops on my way home. Are you heading out? No, you are now Timu Batman. Hey, I love it. Good God. All right, now we're doing Bane. Okay. You think Twitch is your ally? You were merely molded by it. I was born in it. Mel's probably like, I'm never coming back. In a few. Need to check on something first. Send me a text when you're done, and I'll meet you at the shack. Riker called over his shoulder as he went around the back of the house, searching for Bree. He had seen her at the water's edge all day, which wasn't unusual, although it was usually only for a few moments, or sitting with her laptop working. Today had been different. Today, she had just stood there. And this gives you power over me? Even now, she seemed to be in the same spot. She was so still, stoic, and fragile looking. His heart squeezed tight, warning him not to get involved, to turn around and go back the way he had come. Good night, Super. It may be your last. But his heart got the better of him, and he kept walking toward her, pulled by an invisible force that he couldn't explain. I love that mask. And did I see someone redeem Arnold too? Yep, purple. You redeemed Arnold. The breeze whipped at her hair and clothes, but that was the only movement. He approached her, tucked his hands in his front pockets, and waited for her to notice him. When she didn't, he cleared his throat. Another beautiful day. Bree didn't acknowledge him. She just kept staring at the water. Ah! He waited quietly another minute, but couldn't take the silence for long. Are you all right? He saw a lone tear run down her cheek and knew she wasn't. Oh, you need State Farm. He cursed himself inwardly for coming out. It was like a good neighbor. Sorry, neighbor. State Farm is there. A thought occurred to him. She hadn't acknowledged his presence. Maybe she hadn't noticed him. Perhaps he could take a step back and then another. Disappear from her line of sight. If she didn't see his slow retreat when he was far back enough, he could safely take off. Get in his truck and drive away as if he'd never been there.
Get to the chopper!
Hi, Rexter. Oh, you guys are silly. Move, you idiot. You can do it. Just turn around and walk before it's too late. He lifted his foot, convinced he could do it. But his heart controlled his mind. Coward. She needs help. Talk to her. This is going to go well. He cursed inwardly and reached out with his hand, touching her softly on the arm. Bree? Are you all right? You've been out here all day. Ever since that phone call. Did you get some bad news? Did something happen? She turned and looked at him. Her eyes were shimmering blue like the bay as tears welled in the corners. I'm a terrible person. At the apparent hurt in her eyes, his self-preservation kicked in. Sarcasm. Tell me something I don't already know, champ. You punch people, won't give them coffee. Should I go on? When she turned away, he cursed himself for being a jackass. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, you're not. What's happened? Thoroughly weary, she sunk to the ground and pulled her knees into her chest. It doesn't matter. You don't want to know. Go away. Said the wrong things. I meant he should charge others to teach. Wait, what? Did I miss something, Professor? Who here thinks a book father or Bane father, in this case, should do voice acting lessons? Oh, that's what I missed. Ah! Now I lost my place. Oh, there it is. Believe me, I'd like to, he thought. But he couldn't without... Mama House Gaming wants to see the tattoo. Oh my... I haven't whipped this out in a while. There you go. The tat. It's my one and only at the moment. I have thought about more, but just haven't done it yet. It's like you've been lifting or something. Not really. I haven't been doing very well in that department. I need to really get back on it. I really should, actually. I really should, because I've been neglecting the weights. All right. Believe me, I'd like to, he thought. But he couldn't without feeling like a heel. He crouched down beside her instead. Try me. What's so devastating that you have been riveted to the same spot all day? He waited. When she didn't answer, he baited her. Did your best friend die? No. My parents did. Her voice broke. And my little sister. And today's my sister's birthday. Oh, hell, Bree. I'm so sorry. put his damn foot in his mouth again. His brain mocked him. I told you to leave. Riker eased down on the ground beside her, the wind completely knocked out of him. When? How? In a car accident? Hating himself, he hesitated, swallowed hard, and forced himself to say, Tell me. She was quiet for a long moment. In monotone, she stated, It was Memorial Day weekend. The day was perfect. We had brunch at my favorite restaurant, and then my parents surprised me with a graduation party. I had graduated from college 2 weeks earlier, so I wasn't expecting anything, and I was leaving for an internship in Kansas City for the summer. I had the cars packed, mine and their minivan. We took pictures with my friends, ate cake, opened presents, and said our goodbyes. It was fun. A perfect day, you know? The kind of day I'll never forget. She shook her head and laughed. The irony. Her laugh held the slightest hint of hysteria. The wind teased strands of golden brown hair out of her clip, and Riker tucked it behind her ear, wanting to comfort her, but not knowing how. He wasn't good at this and avoided it every chance, but he was stuck now and had to hear her out. We cleaned up, said goodbye to my friends, got in our cars, and started driving. My dad was driving the minivan loaded with most of my stuff, as was my mom and my younger sister. I was following behind in my car. With all the excitement, I forgot to get gas earlier. We pulled off about halfway there and filled up. We got back on the interstate and were picking up speed, so my dad pulled into the passing lane to go around a tractor trailer. Just as he was even with the middle of the trailer, the driver drifted into their lane. I laid on my horn and the semi righted itself. My dad accelerated to get around him, but it wasn't fast enough. The semi jerked back, swerved across both lanes, and struck the minivan. Somehow, Dad managed to keep the van on the road. Bree hesitated. Go on. Then what happened? Riker encouraged. Finish it. It was like a scene out of a movie, played out in slow motion, and there was nothing I could do. The tractor trailer swerved, making contact again, pushing them off the pavement. The road curved. There was so much noise. The screech of tires skidding, metal colliding with metal, and screams. Oh, God, the screams. The back hatch of the minivan came open as it rolled. My clothes, my bedding, and my books were thrown everywhere. But worse, I could see my sister. I could see her face. She was terrified. I could hear her scream, see her reach out in my direction. And a second later, she disappeared. The van rolled 3 times and finally came to rest upside down. If that had been it, then maybe they'd still be here. But the semi-jackknife came around and down into the median and struck the van again. The driver and I both jumped out and ran to the van, but the gas, the smell of gas was so strong. He grabbed me and pulled me back an instant before it burst into flames, taking my entire family with it, right before my eyes. Holy crap, Mel. That was really well written. And hopefully I was able to portray that well enough. I haven't personally experienced something like that, so I don't know if I gave it enough justice. The music seemed to have fit the scene a little too well. That happens from time to time, actually. It's kind of like creepy and cool all at the same time. It's bizarre. You did? Okay, good. I think we all riveted. All right, well, let's keep going. His heart ached for her. She shook her head as tears streamed down her face. All because I needed gas. That shocked him. For Pete's sake, Bree. It's a bunch of shit. And you and I both know it. It's not your fault. It was an accident. If anything, it's the driver of the semi's fault. Was he drunk? On drugs? Maybe texting? No. He had some sort of seizure and blacked out for a few seconds. Riker shook his head in disbelief. That's rough, Bree. I don't know what to say or what you want to hear, or need to hear for that matter. No one should ever have to go through this, let alone witness the whole thing. He paused, wondering if she needed a sympathy or tough love. It wasn't much for sympathy, so he decided to go with the latter. But it happened. It's something that I imagine will stick with you your entire life. You have a hole that will never be filled. It shouldn't be filled. It was your family. They can't be replaced. I imagine you think of them every day. He thought of his parents and his brothers and couldn't imagine life without them. What a hole there would be if and when something happened to them, let alone all of them at the same time. She nodded, but didn't say anything. She only looked out at the water. The sun was slowly sinking behind them, and long shadows stretched like fingers across the vast yard. He leaned over, closer, and nudged her with his shoulder. But I have to ask. You started this whole conversation by saying you're a terrible person. How does any of this make you a terrible person? I forgot. She laughed, that soft, hysterical laugh. Today is my little sister's birthday. My only sister. And I forgot. I don't know what day it was. I've I've been avoiding the calendar for the whole month of April, not looking at it, dreading when the calendar changed to May. But I woke up this morning and for once it wasn't the first thing on my mind. Thank you for the Paulo. For the Paulo, I read Penguin, and then follow became Paulo.
I'm lurking now.
Thank you for the follow, Penguin. And thank you for the lurk. God, I feel like Stunt. It's adorable. Yeah, I do, Purple. Because when she's in here, she somehow sends it through the airwaves. Anyway. I was excited for the day. Looking forward to you guys coming and working on the house and my photos. It never even crossed my mind that it was today. She held back a sob. Not until my ex-boyfriend called and asked how I was doing. That's when I remembered. It hasn't even been a year, and I've already forgotten them. She buried her face in her hands and sobbed. Chad, she hiccuped. Of all the people, remembered Grace's birthday. She sobbed harder. His heart ripped open for her, but not his mind. His words came out a little harsher than he had anticipated. So, what? You're just gonna sit here and cry all damn day into the night? This guy is no Romeo. Wow. If sympathy were sledgehammers, he'd be winning, but they're not. He shook his head in disbelief. I thought you were tougher than that, Bree. So you forgot what day it was. You're allowed to go on with your life. Get over yourself. He stood up, clearly disgusted. What? Bree asked, holding back a sob, shocked enough to stop crying and look at him. Riker almost stopped himself from saying any more from the look of pure grief that raced across her face, but he didn't. Boo-hoo. You forgot the damn date. It happens. You said yourself that there isn't a day that goes by that they don't cross your mind. Hell, I've even witnessed it. I've only known you for a few weeks. I didn't know what it was until now, but I could see the grief, feel the sadness in you. I know your mom's favorite color is yellow and your sister's name is Gracie. Now, how would I know that if you hadn't mentioned it? Or them? Believe me, I don't give a damn enough to ask about such things. We don't like this guy, right? I mean, we can collectively agree on that. Whew. Wow. Holy buckets. He's not getting coffee anymore, that's for sure. Bree stood up and faced him. What the hell do you know, Riker James? Well, not everyone is Jason. Stop it. If he were on fire, I wouldn't put him out with my worst enemy's water. I wouldn't even pee on you. Once this chapter's done, assuming you guys actually let me get to the end, we'll do some shout-outs. What the hell do you know, Riker James? She shoved him. Have you even seen your entire family gone in mere seconds? Right before your eyes? He didn't say anything. I didn't think so. I should be able to feel sorry for myself if I want to. That's it then? Do you want sympathy? Do you want someone to feel sorry for you, Bree? If so, you came to the wrong guy for that. Correction. You came to her. Just saying. Oh, next line. I didn't come to you. You came out here looking for me, you self-righteous ass. Called it. The tears were gone, replaced by white-hot rage. He smirked, despite himself. Wipe that smug look off your face, or I'll wipe it off for you. What are you gonna do, Bree? Punch me again? Or whack me with a door? You ass! Go away! She turned and stomped off toward the house. Riker wasn't sure if he should follow or let her go. But one thing was for sure. He liked seeing her pissed off way better than sad. He decided to follow to make sure she stayed that way. This guy's got weird tactics. I'm just saying you. It's a bit odd. She slammed into the house with him practically at her heels. Get your keys. We're going out. This guy is so freaking weird. Like hell I am. I'm not going anywhere with you. Get out of my house. I'm not leaving without you. We're going to meet Sam and get something to eat. If you stay here, you'll sit and feel sorry for yourself all night. Go to hell, Riker. I don't need you to tell me what to do. He grabbed her arm and spun her around. Sure you do. You got 5 minutes to go upstairs and get ready. Grab what you need and get back down here before I drag your sorry ass out of the house. You can go willingly or by force. It's your choice. Let go of me. She shook him off and they stared at each other for a hot minute. What's it gonna be? You can't just force me to go with you. Try me. What are you gonna do? Sling me over your shoulder like some big bully? If I have to. I'd like to see you try, she said, staring him down. Is that a challenge? Absolutely not. He took a step toward her and she flinched. Let's go. She let out a huff and stomped up the stairs. 5 minutes and counting. Starting now. He called up after her. When the 5 minutes passed and she wasn't down, he went up after her. He pounded on her door, rattling it in its frame. Bree, you had better be ready. When there was no answer, he pounded again. I hope you're dressed because I'm coming in. He tried the knob, but it was locked. He cursed himself. He should have thought of that. He pounded again. Bree, get out here. He was about to bang on the door again when it opened. She stood before him, her hair brushed, left loose, and hung below her shoulders. Her cheeks were flush pink, and her blue eyes drilled holes through him. Did you text Sam and tell him I was coming? She asked harshly. Yes, because 2 against 1 are better odds. And what exactly did you say? Nothing yet. But if you want to stay that way, you'd best be coming along willingly. Fine. But only because I don't want him or anyone else to know. I don't need anyone's pity. You won't get any from me, Riker said. Let's go. And that is the end of chapter 17. Mel. The first thing I want to say is that was a really good chapter. The second thing I want to say is, what? I can't tell if this Riker character was difficult to come up with and kind of, steer and maneuver through this debacle of her buying his house, and just their relationship that's forming. But I think you did a fantastic job with it. Seriously. I mean, that was some good writing. That was some good stuff. You are quite welcome. My gosh. Going from feeling horrible and sad and, missing your own family to wanting to roundhouse kick someone in the face with a chair, in mere minutes. And yes, I said roundhouse kick someone in the face with a chair. I said it. And I'm proud of it. Anyway. Woo. Good chapter. Okay, just taking a look at the next chapter. It's a little longer. What a fancy way to give him the chair and finger all in one. I do what I can. Like smacking someone in the back with a hammer. Ouch. Oh, God, that would hurt. Hydrate, thank you. All right, so here's two things that are going to happen right now. One is we're going to do some shout-outs. And then because I haven't been able to read in so long, normally we would stop in like 27 minutes-ish. I know I'm going to need longer to do the next chapter because it is a bit longer. So we're just going to do that chapter instead of not doing the chapter to help make up for lost time. I know it's not much, but it's what I can do right now. Your fingers are ready? Awesome. I would like to have the After Hours Broalition shouted out that Super is a part of. Jesse, I kept meaning to ask, do you stream? Zerai says, no. No, Book Papa. Okay, just wanted to double check, because if you did, I'd love to shout you out. But thank you for letting me know. I would like to shout out Mama House Gaming. The Mama House Gaming. Yes. Yes, indeed.
Oh my God, what the hell happened right there? I don't even know.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Yes.
That's a great clip. Can we please shout out Rexter? Oh, and Purple, of course. Yes, we were getting there.
Would you rather be a VIP? Oh, stop eating my ass.
That was great. That was a fantastic clip.
Oh, why is there water there?
Oh my god. Chimp. Oh my god, Chimp. Chimp. How the fuck did you...
Skill. That's how. Pure skill. Let's see. I guess we should probably shout out Stunt Mama. Yep.
What are you doing, Mom? And I was like, I'm trying to freak you out, son. Is it working? No. I was like, fine.
Of all the clips, Stunt. Of all the clips. That was great. Let's see. Did I miss anyone? I'm trying to not miss anyone. But I might have. And if I did, I apologize. Wait, Trig, what do I feel like you stream? Right? Or is it Trig? Am I saying it wrong? Trig?
And we did it without Tyson.
Wait, you changed your name?
What was that?
What's that?
Don't ask me what that was. I'll tell you what it was. It was you, Justin. Raji. When did you change your name? I didn't realize that was you. Then why did we see Justin? I'm so confused.
Coming Glock.
Ja, men det är lugnt.
Okay, that's better.
Ja. Kompis. Här ska vi.
Yeah, it will do just clips from your channel, but we saw Justin's face first. That's why I was like, wait a minute. That was so confusing. And I was like, you changed your name? Eight years old? Well, yeah. That happens. I'm deleting all my clips ASAP. Don't worry, Twitch will do that for you very soon. Oh, you did. That's why. Okay. I got so confused. So confused. Okay. Only the book father can change his name. Well, it feels like they are Stunt Mama, okay? And I'm upset about it. It's very confusing. But I'm not going to get into that right now because we're here to read a book. I saw something above 100 gigabyte they will delete in the future or something like that. Yeah. Because I was looking at my VODs. I was on the VODs page. And it said I had like 500 something hours and I could only have 100 hours. Or maybe it was 100 gigabytes. Whatever it was. Either 100 hours or 100 gigabytes. I don't remember now. And it was basically saying no future recordings will get recorded or will get saved because I have too much, too much in there. And I have until April something to get rid of them. Or they'll do it for me. So I'm a bit confused. Anyway, I said we're not going to talk about that. Don't bait me. Chapter 18. Duo stream to YouTube and save the VOD forever. I actually just record these and then I do upload them to YouTube. But I also keep them on Twitch so that if people go to my About page looking for, you know, voice clips or whatever, they have 2 places they can go. Baited by a master. Mm-hmm. I knew it felt funny. All right. For the 3rd time. Chapter 18, page 122. Bree woke up as the sun filled the room. She went to the French doors and looked out at the water. It was another beautiful day that I get to enjoy, and I need to be thankful for that. Her heart hurt when she thought about her family and all the days they had missed so far, and the ones she'd wasted feeling sorry for herself. As much as she hated to admit it, Riker had been right. Feeling sorry for herself wouldn't bring them back. She was here for a reason. It was up to her to make the most of it. Doesn't mean you're not allowed to be sad, though. Especially on an anniversary like that. Come on. First, she had to find the motivation. Easier said than done. Aunt Maureen had called to check on her and reminded her to keep making lists. She went over to the air mattress and picked up her notepad. The majority of her work was outside today. She needed to clean up the existing flower beds, tear out the old bushes, pick up sticks, rake leaves. If she got that done, she could make a quick trip to the local nursery and pick up some plants, a few flowers for containers, and new shrubs around the house. The thought of that perked her up considerably. The thought of that wears me out. God, I'm tired already. Outside work is so, well, tiring. First, she needed a quick shower and a hearty breakfast to accomplish that today. She jumped in the shower, washed her hair, and mentally tried to decide what type of bushes she might like. She'd always loved white azaleas. She shaved her legs, thinking about tulips. It was too late for them to bloom. She'd list plants and bulbs to purchase in the fall. Another of her favorites was boxwoods. The rich green would look nice against the stone foundation. To be fair, a lot of plants look good against a stone foundation because the stone foundation is usually neutral. But I digress. Bree toweled off and decided to blow dry her hair and pull it into a long, smooth ponytail. She opened the bottom drawer in the vanity to get her hair dryer. She pulled it out, and something fluttered to the floor. She bent and picked it up. It was another torn piece of a photograph. That was weird. She flipped it over, examining it. It had to be part of the other ones. How would that get in with her things? The background was plain white, like the other pieces. But this one contained what looked like a bare shoulder. Bree tried to shrug it off. She had no idea where it came from unless it had already been in the drawer, and she hadn't seen it when she initially put her things in. She turned hastily and chucked it into the trash, trying not to give it another thought. She dried her hair and brushed it through. Then she got dressed, pulling on cutoffs and a gray tank top. She grabbed an elastic hair tie and hastily put her hair in a ponytail. She spread sun cream evenly across her face and arms before heading downstairs. That's good. The sun will fry you. Bree was getting the ingredients for an omelet from the fridge when movement outside caught her eye. She crossed to the slider and saw Riker digging in her favorite spot. What's he doing? Curious, Bree grabbed her flip-flops from the breezeway and went out. I bet he's gonna make a bench. He's going to put a bench there, and he's making a spot for it. Halfway there, she slowed her stride, then stopped. She stood motionless as he placed a young... Nope, just kidding, it's not a bench. He placed a young tree into the hole he had dug, squatted and covered it with mulch, then dumped the bucket of water he carried out at its base. Once the mulch was smoothed, he placed 2 Adirondack chairs on either side. Okay, I was in the right mindset. Bree's hand went to her mouth as she realized they were yellow. Bless his heart, she whispered, approaching him. Good morning, Riker. He looked up and grinned at her. Morning. He pulled off his gloves and tossed them next to his spade. He grabbed his water bottle and took a swig. This is beautiful. But why? She asked, coming closer. He shrugged. You said you wanted to put a couple of chairs here, and you've been spending a lot of time in this spot. So I thought, why not? You'll enjoy it more with somewhere to actually sit. What kind of tree is this? Bree asked, coming around to stand beside him. It's a weeping cherry. It blooms white in April. The blossoms are already spent for this year, but next year, you will enjoy it. And those? Bree asked, noticing the 2 little bushes on either side of the tree with reddish round leaves. Those are smoke bushes, specifically Cotinus grace. A delicious shrub. Did I just say delicious? Good God. I did. A deciduous shrub. Those leaves darken over the summer and then turn in the fall to a red-orange. You all right, Atkinson? Probably not. He could feel Bree look at him, so he kept talking. They also get a wispy pink flower in the summer. They do well in any soil and in full sun, so I figured they'd be perfect for this spot. He tucked his hands in his front pockets and looked at her. What? She looked from the quaint little spot he had created to him and back. You thought of everything, didn't you? She said quietly. The yellow chairs for her mother, the weeping cherry for her grief, the bushes named Cotinus Grace for her sister, and there were 3 to include her, and there were 3 to include her dad. Bree swallowed hard. How can I thank you? There was nothing. I was really thinking of myself. Next time I want to come out here and talk to you, I'll have some place to sit beside the cold, hard ground. Thank you, Riker. She reached out to touch his arm, but he dismissed her. No big deal, he said, and bent to pick up his tools. It is to me. He smiled at that. I'm glad you like it. He stuffed the empty plastic bags of mulch in his 10-gallon pail, slung his spade over his shoulder, and headed towards the front of the house to where his truck was parked. For some reason, when I read that, I immediately thought of the 7 Dwarfs, like, hi-ho, it's off to work we go, with a bucket and spade and a hand grenade, hi-ho. Okay, the hand grenade part's not quite right, but you get what I'm saying. Bree stood for a moment longer and took it all in. He really had thought of everything. Maybe deep down he wasn't so tough after all. She gave it one more glance and hurried after him as he disappeared around the front of the house. Riker, wait, she called after him. He was just placing everything in the back of the pickup when she approached him. Have you had breakfast? No, why? I was about to make myself an omelet when I saw you. Would you like one? I could eat. Come on then. He followed her into the house and disappeared into the powder room as Bree dug a few more ingredients out of the fridge. What do you like in your omelet? She asked him when he reappeared, slicing up red pepper. Whatever you put in yours is fine. I like everything, Riker said, taking a seat at the island. Are you gonna get new bar stools soon? These two have seen better days. He nudged the one beside him and watched it wobble. I have a screwdriver in the truck. I'll be right back. Bree cracked 3 eggs, whipped them, and dumped them into a sizzling hot pan. There you go. Nailed it. In mere seconds, Riker was back. He flipped over the stool and tightened all the screws, then proceeded to do the same to the other one. To answer your question, I plan on getting new bar stools after the kitchen is done. Something to match the cabinets would be nice, and they need to be comfortable. Those were left in the house. She added chopped ham, red and green peppers, onion, and shredded cheddar cheese, then folded one side and waited for it to cook. How long until the cabinets arrive? 3 or 4 weeks. We have the long Memorial Day weekend coming up, and sometimes that affects the ship date. Another week, though, and Sam will have it pinned down so we can schedule the install. Bree scooped up the omelet and slid it onto a paper plate, placing it in front of Riker. Oops, and I just smacked my keyboard. Forks are in the island. Top drawer. She could have gotten it for him, but truthfully, after yesterday, she was afraid to look. She watched him out of the corner of her eyes as she cooked her own omelet. The forks were right where she said they were. Which is good. That's good. This is great, Riker declared after savoring the first bite. Maybe I should make it a regular habit. What part? Dropping by unannounced or fixing things? She slid her omelet onto her plate, grabbed a fork, and set it beside him. Both. She laughed. Coffee or water? She pointed to the pot on the counter. She got out a styrofoam cup for herself and filled it. I already had coffee. The water's fine, thanks. I would have said milk, please. Can I have a glass of milk? She ran the tap and filled a cup. She couldn't wait to get some actual dishes. What other plans do you have for the rest of the day? What are the plans you have for the day, not the rest of the day? She placed the cup in front of him and sat beside him to eat. Well, I was going to prime the Widow's Walk since it's so nice out. That way, it's ready for the guys to paint on Monday. Then, hopefully, I will take my boat out later this afternoon. What are you up to? Working in the yard, raking and pulling out old shrubs. He nodded, finishing his last bite. Good day to do that. That hit the spot. Thanks for breakfast. You're welcome. Thank you for my chairs, the beautiful tree, and the plants. The spot is wonderful. I'll always cherish it. Riker's like, oh, and here's the invoice. Because that's the kind of guy he would be. Bree got up and went to the sink. She deposited her fork in it threw away her plate, and then gathered all the ingredients to put back in the fridge. Riker came around the island, did the same as she had, and then offered, Can I help? No, I got it. You go do what you came to do so you can get out on that boat. He picked up the eggs and placed them in the refrigerator despite what she said. Do you want to come? On the boat? With you? She asked, taken by surprise. Yes. Would that be bad? Yes. I mean, no. It wouldn't. I'm just surprised by the offer. She eyed him, suddenly suspicious. What's in it for you? You gonna knock me over the head and toss me overboard? Oh, we have an ad starting. Forgot about that. I'm gonna snooze it for a moment because we have a break in the story coming up, so we'll do the ads then. A day with a pretty girl? He laughed at the face she made. You know, Bree, most women enjoy my company. I'm a pretty good guy. Ask anyone. He took the leftover peppers from her hands and placed them in the fridge. She didn't need to. She had witnessed it firsthand. The way they crowded around him at Sam's party, or how Sherry, Colette, and even Linda talked about him. Every woman seemed to be in love with Riker. And how couldn't they be? He was tall, with broad shoulders, dark wavy hair, deep blue eyes, and dimples you could drown in. He had naturally dark lashes that women could kill for, and a sturdy, rugged face with just a slight 5 o'clock shadow. He was enough to make her heart stop just by looking at him. She wasn't about to be sucked in, though. She didn't need the extra heartache, and would inevitably come with liking someone like him when it wasn't reciprocated. Well, how about it? He asked, watching her. She debated, despite all that she really wanted to go. A day on the water, in the sun. She could bring her camera and get some great photos. It could be a lot of fun. Bree looked at Riker. She'd need to be careful. Trying not to overthink it, she said, I could use a little fun. Do you mind if I bring my camera? Not at all. Riker pulled his cell out of his back pocket and checked the time. It's almost 9. Do you want to work until noon? Maybe grab some lunch and head out on the boat? I'll spring for fast food again. I'll even let you pick your own meal. He winked at her. This time. She laughed despite herself. Sounds like a plan. And now we have that break in the story. So I will run the ads, and then we'll keep going after that. These two going out on the water together. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, looks like the person I was lurking has now raided out. So I need to lurk somebody else. Man, there's so many people online right now. Crazy. Just crazy. How's everybody doing? Everyone okay? Everyone that can hear me, at least. Nope, not okay. Sorry. Stepmama's double fisting drinks, so that's cool. A-okay, actually deleting clips. Yeah, I get that. Running amok as usual. Sounds right. Why? Who can't hear? What? Oh, you're kidding. Don't do that, Purple. I'm listening to you read and sorting pieces. Most enjoyable puzzle and listening sesh I've had in a while. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Jesse. Thank you. That's a lovely compliment. I've not seen any ads from you today. Man, I do not understand Twitch at all. If they're not going to play ads, why are they forcing them? Like, what is the point? I got nothing. You asked me if those are okay who can hear you. I ran ads, so I wasn't sure. This is the first time I've seen ads. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, glad you're back. Sometimes ad blocks work. Sometimes you get a 15-second ad or you run for 3 minutes. It makes no sense. Yeah, I don't get it. And it's not like I'm going to reach out to Twitch and be like, hey, man, I run ads and no one sees them. Fix it. Because I don't want you to see ads. All right. Welcome back from the not ad ads. We'll continue from the break. Page 128. They climbed into the truck, went through the drive-thru as promised, and then ate their cheeseburgers with the windows down. The sun was bright, the sky blue, and the breeze enticing. It wasn't long before Riker turned into a short lane beside a small craftsman-style house sandwiched between two larger homes. It had warm brown siding with cream trim, a porch with tapered columns, and exposed rafter tails in the same cream graced the front. Riker pulled behind the house and parked the truck. I think I'm going to need a drink by the time we're over. Oh, yeah? Something, moody. Perhaps. Getting out, they walked down the narrow yard to a small dock where a jet black 25-foot speedboat rocked gently against it. Wow. Nice boat, Bree said, bending down and running her hand along the pristine black fiberglass of the hull. The shadow? She questioned as she read the finely scripted lettering. How did you choose the name? It's named after my favorite ship as a kid, Shadow Jumper. Riker climbed in and held out his hand for Bree. She stepped in. She tried desperately to ignore the electric shock that raced up her arm and went straight to her heart at the contact. Have a seat. Before Bree could ask any more questions, Riker started the engine, so she sat, stowed her bag, and slipped on her jacket. The air was filled with the smell of brine and fuel as the water churned at the back of the boat. It purred like a kitten while Riker untied the ropes. The water was smooth as they slowly maneuvered through the little waterway past the other houses. Once out of the aisle of... Oh. Wait a minute. Once out of the Isle of White Bay. That's so funny. I know these guys are like East Coast, but the Isle of Wight that I know of, spelled differently, might I add, is over by the UK. I've been there. It's a very, very, very small little island. Tiny. You could drive around it in like a couple hours. Super small. So when I read Isle of Wight, I was like, huh? But this is a different spelling. Anywho, I digress. Once out of the Isle of Wight Bay, Riker opened it up. At least a dozen other boats were out in the immediate area just floating. Riker waved as they sped past. Bree enjoyed the ride. The shadows sliced neatly through the little... Completely missed a line. The shadows sliced neatly through the water. They raced past a pontoon that held a family. The little girl stood at the edge and waved happily at Bree as they skirted past. She waved back and smiled. Riker kept up the speed, turning long, fast arcs in the bay. Suddenly, he changed course and headed for the jagged coastline. He passed large houses with small docks jutting out into the water with boats of all sizes tethered to them. He veered away from the houses towards a heavily wooded island. Riker followed the coastline around it, cut the motor, and drifted towards it. If we stay here a while, and it stays fairly quiet, sometimes the wildlife can be seen. This island is actually called the Isle of Wight, WMA, which stands for Wildlife Management Area. Listening, Bree nodded and bent to get her camera out of her bag. She uncapped the lens and set it on her lap, sitting back to enjoy the view as they drifted. There are about 200 acres of forest and marshlands around the Isle of Wight. Assawoman Bay, I'm never going to get over that, Assawoman, is to the north. Riker indicated with his hand. To the south, it connects to the what? Sign-Puxent Bay? Connects to the Sign-Puxent Bay at the west end of Ocean City. Then narrows down to the Through Fair Channel. That would take us out to the Atlantic. Maybe we can do that another day. That would be nice. I would like that. Bree turned back to the island and spotted a large waterfowl standing at the edge. She raised her camera, adjusted the lens, zoomed in, and captured him. Just like a Pokemon. What kind of duck is that? She asked, pointing it out to Riker. That's a common loon. You can tell by the white and black checkerboard back. Oh, he's beautiful, especially against the blue of the water and the green of the forest. This area has a lot of waterfowl. Sometimes you can see herons, swans, and black ducks. Even Canadian and snow geese, depending on the time of the year. They drifted further and came across a small fishing boat nestled along the edge of the island, tucked under the overhang of a tree. Two teenage boys turned simultaneously to look at them as they drifted by. With a nod of their heads, the boys acknowledged them and turned back to fishing. With their backs to her, Bree focused on them with her lens. She liked how the light played on the water and danced over the rocks. The boys wore faded jeans and pale t-shirts and almost blended in with their surroundings. Except one had on a red baseball cap, and the other had a faded patch of red on his back pocket. Bree smiled as she considered how she could enhance those two spots and really bring them out in her photo. She could fade the edges, play with the light. She smiled as she captured the moment. They spent the next few hours in virtual silence while leisurely drifting around the island. Occasionally, a boat would go speeding by and the waves would rock them closer to shore. Riker didn't say much. He was content to let her take pictures at her leisure, answered questions about wildlife or foliage when she asked, but otherwise remained silent and watched her work. He liked the way she moved, the way she focused on a tiny creature or moment that he didn't see or wasn't even aware was there until she pointed it out. The sun shone down on her, casting her in a golden light as it started to dip to the west. Her cheeks flushed pink from the sun, and her hair slightly mussed from the wind. There was a healthy glow about her. Monsieur, Perlimpin. Perlimpin? That's a fantastic name, monsieur. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you, monsieur. I'm saying monsieur way too much. Hello. There was a healthy glow about her that she hadn't had when they had started out earlier. Perfectly pronounced. Oh, thank goodness. Welcome. Happy to have you. Wow, that's a mouthful. I'm leaving that comment right where it is. No. No. Not gonna say it. Okay. That's what she said. Okay. I'm gonna keep reading. Pretty much. Riker had never been one to sit back and let a woman run the show, especially on his boat. But today, with her, he was completely content to let her. We were all thinking it. That's true. We were. As many times as he had driven his boat around this island, he had never experienced it like this before. He saw things he hadn't noticed, and details that hadn't mattered before. Even the tiniest thing held a natural beauty that had gone unnoticed until she pointed it out. I'm innocent. Okay. Mama House has got jokes. He liked that she didn't pretend to be someone she wasn't in his presence. She certainly didn't fall over him like most women did or flirt with him relentlessly. She didn't seem to care if he noticed her, and he liked that about her. Riker liked a lot of things about her. If only she hadn't bought his house, maybe things would be different. He munched on a cracker as, yet again, she focused on something he didn't see. The camera gave off rapid fire as the great blue heron lifted off. She followed the heron with her lens as Riker followed her with his eyes. Beautiful, he thought. She lowered the camera, turned towards Riker, and beamed. Did you see that? Wasn't he majestic? So graceful. Didn't it just take your breath away? Riker nodded, caught up in her enthusiasm. Yes, it did. But he wasn't referring to the bird. Aw, you dog. I've been influenced by the youngins. Just everyone's keeping everybody young. That's all it is. I'm sorry, you must be bored out of your mind. Not at all. I love to sit idly in my boat all day instead of racing up and down the bay. He tried hard to put sarcasm in his voice, but couldn't quite pull it off. To change the mood, his mood, nothing said she was feeling as lost in the moment as he was. Then he realized she was in the moment, but her moment was in capturing the damn bird, not with him. That pissed him off a little, which helped. Ready to go? Sun will be setting soon. She sighed, seemingly content. Whenever you are. Without a word, he stood, flipped a switch, and the boat roared to life. He took off, standing at the wheel. He loved to feel the wind on his skin, the sting of it after a day spent in the sun. He noticed her snuggling down in the seat, pulling her jacket on, and turning out to watch the water go by. He hated to admit it, but he didn't want the day to end. He didn't want to take her home. But he couldn't think of an excuse to keep her out longer. So, resigned, he headed for her house, while I keep smacking my keyboard. He headed for her house, her dock. When he pulled up to the dock, the sun was well below the horizon. It was hard to see. There was no light on it, only a few decrepit reflectors that looked about to fall off. He'd not known by heart where the dock was. Had he not known by heart what the dock was, he wouldn't have found it so easily in the dark. Grab the rope in the back by the stern, Riker indicated behind Bree. Reach out and grab the post there. Bree did what she was told. Riker maneuvered the boat effortlessly, so the stern came around. Wrap it around the post now. She did, and Riker cut the engine. Then went to the bow himself and tied the other rope around the post. He brushed against Bree as he reached around her for his flashlight. Switching it on, he sent the shaft of light up and down the length of the worn dock. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. This dock doesn't look safe. It can't be that bad, can it? Bree asked, unsure herself. It's not good. This thing looks like it could fall apart if you sneezed at it. Maybe I should take you back to my house and drive you home in the truck. Don't be ridiculous. That's what, over a half hour back by water, right? At least. I'm sorry, but I can't wait that long. I have to use the bathroom. And it's only like, 20 feet of dock that I have to cross? He could see the house looming large just up the hill, and the bathroom called to him too. Okay, get your bag. He stepped out onto the dock, testing with one foot before he put the full weight of his body on it. He got both feet out. He waited. Step exactly where I step, and hopefully neither one of us will end up taking a swim. He took a step forward, then leaned back and held out his hand. She took it, and he was actually aware of her small, warm hand in his. He shoved the thought of her hand into the back of his mind and tried to concentrate on where he stepped. The boards groaned under his weight, but held. They made steady progress across the little dock, stepping over holes and rotten boards, and at last, they were across safely on dry land. Bree tugged his hand. Come on, I can't wait any longer. She took off, sprinting towards the house, her hand in his still pulling him along. He got his footing and ran alongside her. He started towards the back of the house, toward the slider since it was the closest door. That's locked from inside. We'll have to go around front. Right. They took the steps 2 at a time, breathing hard while she dug through her bag looking for the keys. He held the flashlight over her bag. Hurry, I have to go too. Bree laughed as she unearthed them and stuck them in the lock. You take the powder room, I'll go upstairs. They burst through the door, and she flipped on the lights. They quickly went in separate directions. When she came back downstairs, he was waiting. Guess I'd better head out. They're calling for storms tonight, so I want to get the boat back fastened down and put the tarp on before it starts. Are you going to be okay back across the dock by yourself? Yeah, I have the flashlight. And if I'm careful, I shouldn't have any problems. Bree walked him to the door and flipped on the porch lights. I'll put the back patio lights on too. Not sure how much they'll help. He walked out and turned back to look at her. She leaned on the door frame and smiled up at him. Thanks for a wonderful day, Riker. I really enjoyed myself. Me too. and he meant it. He wanted to say something else, or maybe even do something else, like kiss her. But he didn't. Couldn't. He might be making a fool out of himself. And he didn't do that. Not when he wasn't sure how she would react. That thought alone had him taking a step down off the porch. I'll see you Monday, champ. Bright and early. Don't let the ghost keep you up all night. With that, he turned and left. You're hilarious, Riker. She called after him in a huff and slammed the door. True to her word, though, the back patio lights came on. He made his way down to the water to the dock and carefully picked his way across it. Then he climbed in the boat and started it, glancing back at the house and her. He could see Bree standing, silhouetted by the kitchen lights. He untied the ropes and pushed off, speeding across the water into the dark night. And that's is chapter 18. Not bad.